Good morning, everybody. It's time for a Seattle Mariners check-in. I know I said I was going to check in every 10 games, but I didn't think it made sense to make Mariners videos in the middle of the draft. There were so many videos to make about that stuff. The Mariners video would obviously just get lost in there, and people would probably be like, "Why are you making a Mariners video? It's April. We're in the middle of the draft. What is wrong with you? We don't want to see this stuff." So I figured I would wait at least until after the draft. So we're 22 games in, second place in the AL West, 12 and 10. So over the last 12 games since I last made a video, we are 7 and 5. So you can say we won that little stretch of baseball. We were 11 and 9 at the actual 10 game break. So, however you look at it, things are more good than bad. But as of right now, it's a little bit it's kind of hard to figure out what we're really looking at here with this team. Unlike last year, this team in terms of their run differential and their general level of combined play actually looks like a good team. We actually should have a better record than 12 and 10 based off our run differential. The Pythagorean theorem has us at 13 and 9. And the last 12 games have obviously gone well. We almost swept Texas. We had that one really stupid game where we scored 5 runs before Texas recorded an out and then found a way to lose anyway. Very frustrating, very not okay. Extremely obnoxious game. And then we had that great start against Tampa Bay, and it seemed like we might even go on a run. And then the offense just dies. And even though we've won more than we've lost over the last 12 games, you're feeling a little bitter about where the team is right now. At least I am, because I feel like it could have been better. You had the Marco start where he gets knocked out immediately. By the way, good thing he's going to be okay going forward. It looks like he's going to be starting tomorrow, actually, or, well, excuse me, today. But you get that in the first inning. Your bullpen manages to limit Tampa Bay to 2 runs across 8+ innings, and you still lose. And then the next game, Flexen pitches a great game, and we still lose. So this offense, it was waking up. It woke up against Texas. That first game against Tampa was awesome. We scored 8 runs without leaving the park once. But then it just dries up, so I don't totally know what we have. And sitting here at 12 and 10, with Haniger missing most of those games, with Scott Servais missing some games due to COVID, and I think that did affect us in a couple of games, with Julio getting robbed at the plate over and over and over and over again, with Paul Sewald missing games to COVID, with Luis Torrens missing games to COVID. When you look at it like that, it's pretty good, right? You maintain a winning record, missing some of your key players and your manager, but I don't know what we have on offense right now. So just to talk about it briefly, there's some stuff going on with this offense through 22 games. It's not going to last. There is no way Tom Murphy is going to continue to play like an MVP. Literally, his Ops Plus is 214. He is batting at I'll bet he's never had a string of hitting like this in his life, even going back to Little League. We know what Tom Murphy is. We saw him last year. We've seen him his whole career. It can't last. And Tom Murphy playing so well from the batter's box has been a big deal because Cal has been so bad at the plate, we actually had to send him down. He was so worthless back there, we couldn't justify keeping him. And honestly, I know Torrens had COVID. He hasn't been that much better. So the fact that Murphy is able to be competent behind the plate and elite in the box has been crucial to this team's success so far, but it's not going to last. J.P. Crawford has been one of the best batters in the league so far. He's hitting for power. Sometimes there have been a few times this season where he's busted out like a Ken Griffey Jr. type swing, and he's unleashing power that we definitely didn't think that he had. He's hitting 370 plus. He's drawing walks. He's not striking out. He has turned into an all-star caliber hitter. I seriously doubt that is sustainable. And when those guys start to regress to the mean, and don't get me wrong, maybe Crawford can maintain like a 300 batting average. Maybe he's ascending to his peak form. Maybe Tom Murphy will have a better than average season, especially if we give him a lot of rest like we have been. He hasn't been playing every game. But who's going to pick up the slack when that happens? Adam Frazier, I'd like to say that he's going to get better as the season goes on, but honestly, if you look at his career numbers, they're not that much better than what he's been doing so far this year. He's been playing fine. He's been getting on base at a decent clip. His ops plus is right around league average, a little below. Outside of that 1 year where he made the All-Star break, which was mostly powered by what he did early in that season, by the way, you can't really say that Frazier is guaranteed to suddenly start raking at a 330 batting average or a 400 OBP or something like that. This might be who he is. He's a pretty decent hitter. I will say this, though, and I'll talk more about this later. His defense is not good. I am not impressed at all with his defense. So, if Adam Frazier is going to be an average bat and a problem in the field, like he has been in my estimation so far this year, that's going to be a problem. The good news is that we have some very strong anti-regression candidates in Jesse Winker. I think we all know that he was extremely unlucky in April. He's starting to turn it around already. Yesterday morning, he had a 3-hit game. He's starting to come around. His batting average is already almost above 200. He is going to turn things around and probably become an above average hitter. And that combined with the Julio thing, because Julio's also nearly dug himself out of the hole he had dug early in the season. He's nearly out of that hole. His ops plus is over 90 now. He's getting on base. He's leading the majors in stolen bases. He's almost at 10 already. Those two guys, it's going to be very vital that they are able to pick up the slack that will inevitably be left when guys like Murphy and Crawford cool off. Kelenic, I don't know about Kelenic. He's good on the base paths. He's got 3 stolen bases already. He's good in the field. He had a great gun down at third base from right field the other night that actually was crucial in that game. But he doesn't look like he's having a good time at the plate. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of bad results. Seems like it's just getting to him a little bit. I know he has some leeway because he is doing good things in the field and good things on the base paths, but right now he's not anywhere close to where we were hoping he would be this year as a hitter. He's only 22, but still. So the guy I'm really looking at to go one way or the other now is Abraham Toro. Suarez has kind of already started to regress towards the player that we thought he was going to be. Early on, he looked like he was hitting for average. He was getting on base at a good clip. He was hitting doubles and triples. But over the last few games, he has completely reverted back to the home runner strikeout guy. And that's what we expected when we traded for him. He's a guy who's going to give you a lot of home runs, a lot of strikeouts. And at the end of the day, you can either live with that or you can't. So he's already kind of regressed. Ty France, he looks like the real deal. He looks like he's beyond what we thought we were getting when we traded for him, and we were expecting something pretty good when we did trade for him. So this offense, it's just, I'm looking at Toro. He's played better lately, and I'm looking at Torrens, because to me Torrens is kind of the key here to give us another at least above average at batter. Right now, we really need extra bats to take some of the pressure off of needing a guy like a Kelnick to perform, needing a guy like a Tom Murphy to keep it up. Because I know Kyle Lewis is going to come back at some point, but we don't know when. And Haniger, we expect to miss a decent chunk of time. So I can see this coming together, but we need some of these guys like Toro, like Torrens, to pick up some slack. Now, the pitching is easy. The pitching's easy. Logan Gilbert has been incredible, absolute money, beyond even our wildest dreams. He is legitimately one of the best pitchers in the majors through his first 5 starts. And the thing is, he doesn't look dominant. Not even close. He loses control sometimes. He's not overpowering people. He's just getting the job done. Once he gets better control of his fastball, he's going to look so much better. So, even though he's obviously got an unsustainable ERA, 0.64, even though I know he's going to regress some in that regard, I feel like he can become a more dominant and dangerous pitcher. And good thing for Logan Gilbert. Good thing for Logan. We've won all 5 games he's been on the mound. He's pitched really well in all 5. Because the rest of this stuff, it remains to be seen, right? Robbie Ray, look, that start in Miami started out great. Everything's great. And he was so bad in that 5th inning where he, blew the game that it almost shakes your confidence in him as an ace, right? Now, I know the offense is the reason why we lost that game, but still. Look, everyone's entitled to have a bad inning here and there, even one that ends up costing you the game, which on some level that inning did, even though the offense was to blame for that game in general. But it wasn't what I expected from our $25 million a year ace. But other than that inning, he's actually had a really good season so far. His walks numbers are starting to regress, which a lot of people expected. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him going forward. So far, I don't know if he's living up to that contract, but if we're being objective here, we're talking about 2 bad innings of work so far for Robbie Ray in a Mariners uniform. One was in a monsoon, and the other, I don't know, he just lost control. Flexen and Marco are completely doing their jobs. They're holding it down, sub 4 ERAs. I think they're both pitching at above average levels. Marco caught a bad break when he got knocked out early against Tampa. Luckily, he's not going to miss any starts, but Marco's really kind of gotten he's grabbed a hold of, he's really gotten control of himself after that first really bad start. And Flexen, we got to help this guy out. I mean, he pitches that great game against Tampa, and then he gets really unlucky with the comebacker that scores the run, and we give him no support. So those guys, great stuff. The Marco and Flexen are pretty much what I expected. Quality 3 and 4 men in your rotation. Brash, I don't know. He's got great stuff, but he is wild. He is all over the place. And he was so bad in that start against Miami that I get a lot of people in my chat saying we need to send him down. I don't know who you send him down for. Not Sheffield. We know Sheffield's bad. We know Sheffield can't do it. In fact, we optioned Sheffield down today, I think, or yesterday, I think, because he's just not, he's not the guy. You can't promote Kirby or Hancock yet. They're not ready. They're still in Arkansas. So the way I see it, we're going to just have to cross our fingers that Brash can get it together in time for his next start. He's going up against Verlander, so I'm not really looking forward to that. But Matt Brash, we just need him to settle down a little bit. He's a number 5 starter. We don't need him to be dominant and win every game, but we need him to have some degree of control. I still like our starting rotation. I still like those 5 guys, but we need to see a little more of Ray and Brash, I think. The bullpen, I mean, Sewald missed time with COVID. That didn't help. And Sewald's been great so far this year, by the way, so having him in there would have been very useful, but with the possible exception of, I guess, Sewald, who hasn't pitched that much, and so far this year, oddly enough, Castillo, there's nobody in this bullpen I feel great about when they go into the game. And because Castillo is Castillo, I'm never going to be able to feel great about him. But after some really promising stuff from the bullpen last year, so far, I don't know. It seems like they get into danger a lot and then manage to wiggle their way out of it. Like yesterday against Miami. Over and over again late in that game, they got runners on, they had the bases loaded, bad situations, and then they find their way out. Swanson's been great. Swanson's gone scoreless through almost 10 innings. But Festa has been kind of a mess. We've given him a lot of work, mostly in situations where we felt like the game was probably already over. But I don't know if that's the right thing to be doing. He's not the guy. Castillo's been great so far, but he's Castillo. We'll never feel completely comfortable with him. Steckenrider and Munoz have been above average, but I wouldn't call them particularly good. So I don't know. Even Anthony Sandwich has been fine so far. I just get a really bad feeling in my stomach with a lot of these bullpen guys. I'm hoping Sewald can take on a full load and start being a setup guy regularly for the remainder of the season now that he's back. But it seems like everybody in this bullpen, with the exception of Swanson, has had a really bad moment so far this season where they've really blown a game or blown an opportunity or something. So we'll see where this goes, but the bullpen makes me a little uncomfortable right now. Hopefully Sewald coming back can settle things down. The last thing I can say about this team is that the defense, it's a little bit of a mess. Crawford's defense has plummeted to below average levels. Frazier so far has been very shaky on defense. The outfield's been good. Julio's done his job, which is great because as a rookie you don't necessarily expect that. But I think Toro has had a couple bad errors. I think that Suarez has been all right. But the defense is just kind of a mess right now. That's going to cost us games. It arguably already has. So I don't know what's going on there, but Crawford doesn't need to be trading in his glove for a bat. All right. See you guys later. Go Mariners. That's my take. Longer video, but a lot to decipher. I still don't know where we are as a team yet. 3 against Houston coming up. Let's see what we got.